Hello there, people of the internet. We're back again with another Pikmin 3 Deluxe video. Now, I am super excited for Pikmin 3 Deluxe. If you can't tell already, I've already made 3 videos on my channel about it. And the thought has been looming in the back of my head since this was announced. What does the announcement of Pikmin 3 Deluxe really mean for the Pikmin series moving forward, and what are the takeaways we can get from this game being released on the Switch in 2020? And the answers might be a little surprising, though keep in mind all of these things I'm going to talk about today are pure conjecture. They're based on things that I just kind of see as, well, this makes sense. I don't have any direct sources saying, oh, Miyamoto said this, I know because he's my uncle and he... No, nothing like that. Nothing like that in this sort at all. I'm just spouting off nonsense based on things that I think are very likely to come true, so I hope you'll just hear me out. So, Pikmin 3. The Pikmin series, a favorite childhood series of mine, and Pikmin 3 was a fantastic entry in that series. I love it. But first, I think we should talk about the positives of this release of Pikmin 3 Deluxe on the Switch. What does it mean as a positive thing for the Pikmin series? Well, to be frank, this is a perfect opportunity for the Pikmin series to branch out and really find a new audience with the Switch and its market. It's a very unfortunate reality that the Pikmin series has genuinely just been shafted by Nintendo, either by poor marketing or really bad release windows, or just a victim of unfortunate circumstances. And that's for like every game in the series. Like, every game has released as either like a flagship game in a failing console, or was released way too late in a console's life cycle for anyone to care. Like Pikmin 1 and 3, while I love my GameCube and my Wii U, they aren't the best-selling Nintendo consoles. They sold pretty poorly, both of them did. And as a result, a lot of people really weren't exposed to the Pikmin series, despite it, really being innovative and different for a game, especially for Nintendo. And I even remember the rollout for the new Play Control ports of Pikmin on the Wii being absolutely horrible. Like, I remember Pikmin 2 new Play Control on the Wii was like exclusive to Japan and the UK for like 2 years before they ported it over to the West. That's just ridiculous. And by the time it got over to the United States, it was like, at the very end of the Wii's life, and no one really wanted to buy it, and it was like $30. It was just a big mess. It was just a huge mess. And I just remember thinking the entire time, like, wow, that's not really a good way to roll out a game that already had a bad rollout to begin with. Regardless, Pikmin 3 Deluxe on the Switch, this is coming out at a perfect time. The Switch is the hottest console on the market right now. People are clamoring for a new announcement, for a game from Nintendo, for something new to play, especially now with quarantine and everything. Pikmin has a perfect opportunity to get in the hands of a ton of people who really want to experience this franchise for the first time, and that has me very excited. And if prior Wii U ports to Switch are any indication, I believe this game will sell very well. With how Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and New Super Mario Bros. U are pretty much two of the best-selling games on the system, and they're both Wii U ports. It just all seems like it's going to be set up to sell really well, and that's great for a franchise like Pikmin that desperately needs that kind of push. This proves that the Pikmin series is not dead. That's the most positive outlook for all of this. The Pikmin series is alive and well, guys. We can breathe a sigh of relief. Pikmin 4 will be coming. I think that's a safe bet to make. I don't think they would make Pikmin 3 Deluxe without having plans for a new Pikmin. Now, the more unfortunate news in this regard, even though Pikmin 4 may be an inevitability, it's something we've wanted for, like 7 years now. I don't think Pikmin 4 is coming anytime soon. I think it wouldn't make sense for Nintendo to release 2 Pikmin games within the same time frame on the same console. They would kind of battle with each other on the market, you know? If we do get Pikmin 4, I think it's going to be maybe 2-3 years from now, very late in the Switch's life cycle, or it's going to be part of the next iteration of hardware from Nintendo, because the unfortunate reality is I don't really think it makes sense, especially when we look at how the other games on the Switch have kind of been done when they're ported. We haven't seen a new Mario Kart on the Switch yet. We haven't seen a new Donkey Kong Country game on the Switch yet. And games that have gotten new iterations in their series from like a Wii U era game were never ported. Like, we got the new Kirby game, but that was a new Kirby game. You didn't get the old Kirby games and stuff like that. Unfortunately, I think this is going to be the last of Pikmin we'll see for a little while, which definitely sucks, because Miyamoto said like 5 years ago now that Pikmin 4 was very close to completion. But he also said the same thing about Pikmin 3 on the Wii, like in 2008. Then Pikmin 3 released in 2013 after it was delayed and was supposed to come out in 2012. It was all just a big mess. If we do get Pikmin 4, it won't be for a little while. And I think that's maybe just a circumstance of what the market allows, and maybe not because Pikmin 4 isn't done or isn't close to completion. Though knowing Miyamoto, knowing how these things usually go with him, he likely had Pikmin 4 done, looked at it, and was like, we're going to scrap this. And then they start all over from the beginning and figure out what to do next with the series. Now, I've expressed before that I hope the new story missions with Olimar and Louie are little indicators, little teasers of what Pikmin 4 might be like, because it at least shows that the Pikmin team is working on new Pikmin stuff. So maybe we'll get a little bit of a teaser of what mission structure in Pikmin 4 would be like, or what type of gameplay styles would be implemented, or maybe the characters or the story of the game. It would definitely be interesting. And I also really hope that, the co-op campaign makes its way into Pikmin 4 in some way. I would love to see Pikmin 4 be a 4-player cooperative game. That would be pretty great. That would be pretty fantastic. Beyond that, I mean, I already know there are so many people who in their childhoods really wanted like an open world Pikmin game, or a Pikmin game more focused on exploration, things like that. And there are just so many things that would be fantastic for the series going forward, and I can just breathe a sigh of relief now in the notion that, Pikmin is safe. Because for a very long time, a lot of fans of this series were afraid that, the Wii U's failure and the subsequent kind of failure of the game, Pikmin 3 on the Wii U, was the death knell for this game. It was the nail in the coffin for the series as a whole. And I think that was a reality a lot of people were starting to set in with after Hey Pikmin was announced, and everyone was like, okay, well, Hey Pikmin isn't going to do well, and then Miyamoto is probably going to be like, oh, well, you didn't like Hey Pikmin, so I guess you don't want more Pikmin. But this is what people want. Well, it's not exactly what people want. People want Pikmin 4. But Pikmin 3 Deluxe is a step in the right direction for what people want, for sure. Old fans are going to play it for the new content, and a bunch of new people are going to be exposed to it. And I'm just very, very hopeful that Pikmin 3 Deluxe paves the way for a successful future in the Pikmin franchise. Thank you guys for listening to me ramble about this. These are just my thoughts again. Share your own in the comments. And please consider subscribing if you're interested in more Pikmin content, video game content. My next big video, I'm probably going to do update videos on like Pikmin or whatever new games come out that interest me. But my next big critical analysis review video is going to be an overview of Personas 3, 4, and 5 I know a lot of my fans have like a cross appeal with, you know, Xenoblade and Persona and RPGs that I've covered on my channel, and uh, I'm really excited for this video. Though this video is going to take a little while because while I have the script written out, I can record the voiceovers whenever I want. This requires me to gather footage from 300 plus hour JRPGs, which is a lot of time to spend. So that's going to be a lot of time capturing footage and video editing, and it's likely going to take a little while for me to pump out the video on the production side of things. But regardless, I'm very excited for Pikmin 3. I'm very excited for the future of this series. Let me know. Thanks for watching my shit. See you guys in the next one.